Alrighty, Miss Amanda. Hello. Good morning. How are
Good
you?
morning. I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for asking. I would love for us to jump right into our virtual interview. If you don't mind, Amanda, tell me a little bit about yourself and your professional experience.
Well, I have experience in a lot of different kind of departments. I've worked for manufacturers, legal, real estate, um, marketing with pharmaceuticals. I have a big background in purchase orders and data entry, calling collections sometimes, a lot of data entry, a lot of Excel. So that's mainly where my background has been. And then the past few years, I have worked remote, but I am looking to go back on site.
Beautiful. And thank you for that introduction, Amanda. I appreciate the details as far as your professional experience. I too have your resume pulled up here. I have your most recent role was as a administrative coordinator. If you don't mind, tell me a little bit about what your day-to-day looked like.
So for them, I was a provider relations coordinator for an employee assistance program. So I handled the chat for Alliance for Partners, which is their sister company. And so I did a lot of their chats. They would bring me cases. Sometimes I would have to outreach to see if I can get a provider to join to help these cases or see if we had anybody in there, just to set them up and get them going. If not, we would have them on hold for a while, just trying to figure it out and get these people help. I also did some auditing. So I had to do auditing with QA, constantly using Excel, doing claims, going through claims, having to call sometimes to get these situated, talking to providers, maybe sometimes going into the website to help a provider navigate. Sometimes I even had to do Teams meeting to help them because some of them were a little older. So they didn't really understand and grasp it through the phone. So I would take initiative and just make Zoom calls or team calls just to help them and show them. But a lot of my day to day was pretty much making sure I had everything set, all my cases completed. If not, we have deadlines, trying to get more providers for certain networks. And that was pretty much my day to day.
That is incredible. It sounds like a busy day-to-day to me at that
Yeah.
position. Um, Looking at your resume as well, a few other roles you worked in as a program coordinator, administrative assistant, legal administrator, order intake, HR admin assistant, etc. So your background is very extensive when it comes down to administrative assistant. Now, in this role, we kind of talked about it off the recording here, but we know that in this role, or I'm sorry, not in this role, but in administrative roles, we wear a lot of hats. We
Yes.
have a lot of people who come to us throughout the day. So, how are you able to organize yourself throughout the day?
I am a reminder queen. I love reminders. I have it on my Excel. I have it on my phone. If it's a link to my phone, um, I keep it in my Teams or calendar. I understand that sometimes we can be on something that has a deadline and then we get thrown in something that we have to do. Okay, well, put a reminder, get back to this once I finish this. I'm a spreadsheet queen. So that's just how I keep myself organized. I like to be organized. I don't like too much chaos in that. But what looks like a mess to somebody else, maybe my organization.
There you go. I call that organized mess that only
Yeah.
we know. So it makes sense. Thank you for sharing that. Now, you mentioned a few systems that you use, right? Like the calendar, for example, or spreadsheets. What are a few other systems that you're familiar with, even if accounting as well, because I know you have experience with that.
Yes. So I've used CRM systems like Microsoft Dynamics. I've used like Adobe, Marketo. For marketing with commercial real estate, I use Broker
Mhm.
Blast. I use that too, and CoStar to even look up properties or land when I have to and build that together. I've used SAP for invoicing, heavy invoicing on SAP. I've used Concur for travel expenses. Um, Back then, I used to use Peachtree, which is probably something else now, and Sage. So
Nice.
I'm very familiar with all those softwares. I've dabbled into QuickBooks, desktop, not mobile. And I know there's probably more, but they're probably so
Mhm.
old that I'm
Yeah.
not remembering their names.
No
But
way.
for the most recent parts, it's been SAP, CRM systems, Dynamics, HubSpot I've used before. I think that's what it's called. And then there is one more. It's a CRM system, but I vaguely used it, so I'm not sure the name. Sorry.
No, no worries at all. You've used, a variety of systems for, more of the business administrative side, and like we mentioned, more of your, accounting, invoicing side of things. So thank you for sharing that. As far as, we know you're looking for a new position. So when you think about the next company you're looking to join, what are some key things that you look at a company that's going to say, yes, I want to work with them?
I think the environment too of the company and their values to me. But I also want somewhere where I know I have a possibility of growing possibly, and stability. Those are main three things for me. I want to go somewhere where I feel like what I can offer is valued, and I want to contribute to a company that, that doesn't shy away from it and accepts it and embraces what I can bring to the table, or even wanting to learn. I'm really big on learning. So
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that. That's, words of the wise for me nonetheless. And when were you looking to start a new position, Amanda?
as soon as possible.
Absolutely. And hopefully I can help you with that journey here. But Amanda, I want to thank you once again for the time that you spent with me. It truly has been a pleasure getting to know your professional experience.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, if you don't mind, stay on the line with me here really quickly. I want to continue chatting with you.